Hey guys, how are you guys doing this afternoon? Well, welcome to my episode. Today's date is February 8th, 2026. Once again, today's date is 20 February 8th, 2026. Now, guys, what I'm going to be talking about in this episode is basically I've talked. Basically I talk about it today on my social media pages, and again, if you listen to my episode here, feel free to follow me on social media on all my social media pages. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and X under the same username, MixmasterXL, MaxMasterXL, spelled just like it pronounced. Once again, MaxMasterXL. MixmasterXL. Go follow me and share. I also share a lot of information on those platforms, but I try to get it as detailed as I possibly can when I do these episodes. And I'm actually going to be talking about what I basically talk about today on those platforms. Sorry, the Atlantic Ridge, guys. Interesting place. Now, first and foremost, back up a little bit. The Atlantic Ridge is it's basically a mountain. A mountain. It's one of the longest mountain, the longest, the biggest. I won't say biggest, the longest mountain stretching um over a planet. Basically, most of it is on the water. It is a mountain. That's new mountain keep forming. Basically, what's happened? The Eurasia plate and the American plate are stretching apart. When it stretch apart, the magma from the ground come up and it form into new and solidifies and turn hard and form new landmass, new stones and so forth. But this process have speed up. Basically, Iceland is ripping apart like crazy right now. Um, Interesting article caught my attention about Iceland. There is that a gentleman actually got killed. The ground opened up in Iceland, and I know it's not funny. I didn't mean to laugh like that, but he was gone. The guy was gone. He was literally walking on the street. The ground opened, and next thing you know, he's no longer around. He's gone. He's vanished. So I said that to say this is that this situation is something that people are actually going to see more on a regular basis, and it's going to be on a global scale. Again, guys, if you're listening to my show, it's not something I'm not trying to say this to scare anyone at all. I'm just being a pragmatic realist here. What we're going through, the problem we're having because of electromagnetic disturbances that we're having with our planet, our electromagnetic field is a lot weaker. Times are getting interesting. The main reason why everything is actually happening is because of what's in the sky. It's no one want to point out the 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 cow in the room. That's what it is. Everything that's happening to our planet is basically what's happening in our sky. Period. Every couple of thousand years, our planet go through a phase, and we're there right now. Every 3,654 phase, a second moon interrupt with our planet. Second sun, sorry, interfere with our solar system because we're in a binary solar system, guys. The Atlantic Ridge right now is the process of the way it's breaking apart, spreading apart, have speed up drastically. New formation is basically coming out of the water. Land formation is getting ready to push out the Caribbean water. Um, what what's going to happen from this? Just to let you know, guys, the Caribbean places like the Caribbean is going to see some. Um, they're going to see small islands, especially around the British Virgin Islands. A lot of these places are going to get destroyed. Basically, they're going to vanish. They're no longer going to exist. Um, but at the same time, new land formation is going to be coming out of the water. New islands will be coming out of the water in the Caribbean Sea, also in the Atlantic Ocean. Okay. This will also affect not just the Caribbean and other places that's going to be affected by this is on the coastline of places like Puerto Rico, southern part of Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. As I said, most of the islands that will be affected by this by basically disappearing is in the British Virgin Islands. Other Caribbean countries will get affected by this, but mostly around the coastline. The bigger ones, mostly on the coastline. Okay. Now, what's coming for North American continent? Because there's a pull happening with our Eastern Craton plate. Because the North American continent consists of six craton guys, craton plates. Six big piece of rock pushed together create one big piece of rock called the North American continent that's floating on a mantle. It's that simple. Now, the Eastern Craton plate, where you find New Jersey, New York, uh, New Massachusetts, you find Vermont, you find eastern part of Canada, Toronto, Montreal, Quebec, Ottawa, those places. Those places are in for a huge prize. What's going to happen in these places, guys? They're going to start having ground cracks. And this is something I've talked about a while back. I've been encouraging people to be like, listen, start walking around your property, start checking on your property, check your infrastructure of your house to make sure that there is no ground cracks to your property. Because there gonna come a time very, very soon where people are actually gonna start seeing these things. And when you start to see these things, don't panic. You just have to know that this is where we're at. This is the time we're living in. And there is nothing, absolutely nothing you can do to stop it. The only thing you have at that point is that, do I want to stay in this area or do I want to go or move? Because it doesn't look like it's going to get any better. So the smart thing to do is to move. I'm just making you guys aware of these things, letting you know in the near future, which is soon. It's around the corner. We will have some serious situation with infrastructure when it comes to the grid. Also, why do you think I always warned you folks? From the moment I've been doing these videos, I encourage you guys, have a bug out bag. Every person in your family should have a bug out bag. It's something that you grab and you go. You don't have time to get ready. Everything's already put together. You grab it and you go. There's a reason I encourage people to do this, especially if they live around the city area, because these are the parts that actually going to get mostly affected. The cities, due to the fact that they're oversaturated with people. It's that simple. But anyway, the Mid Atlantic Ridge, it's something it worries me. Really, it really do, because these seismic event that's happening at the Mid Atlantic Ridge will send some serious quakes, really really big quakes over there at New Jersey, New York, the borderline between New York and Canada. This is basically what's on the way. This is what's coming, and this will we will also see earthquake in places like more of them in South Carolina, Georgia, northern part of Georgia, Ohio will start having more earthquakes, and it's just gonna keep escalating, keep increasing over, and get worse and worse and worse. So while this thing keep escalating and getting worse, then next thing you know, we're gonna start seeing ground cracks. Yes, it's gonna start appearing due to the fact that realistically, guys, what's happening is that Earth is actually reshaping itself. Where it's going to start creating new new continents are going to form. Continental drift is real. Yeah, it is. Continents do drift. They do drift. They don't just sit there. These are rocks sitting on top of a mantle, and the mantle is liquid. So it's like this constantly on the liquid, So they do move. And every now and then they do split in half, and one half go on its own somewhere else, and the other half go somewhere else. The earth is alive. It's a living, breathing organism, and we're living on it. Um, but it's the phase that we're in, and then I've come to accept the fact that there's nothing I can do to stop it, and accept it. So again, thank you for watching my video. This was a quick one, and I just want to get this one out of the way. Ciao.